our exclusive interview with Honorable Omar Jatto Jammeh, the National Assembly member for Janjangbureh constituency.
Go to the food security, Honorable. Honorable, Gambians are very hungry. I don't know whether you know it or not. Yes.
I know it, and I can attest to the fact that food or survival is a serious challenge for Gambians.
Okay. Now, what can Parliament do? What can Parliament do in their own capacity to make sure that Gambians are hunger-free?
Yeah, the truth of the matter here is Parliament have been making efforts to equip the Ministry of Agriculture with the necessary resources to make the Gambia hunger-free.
Okay.
And I would say this, in the 5th legislative or legislature, what they did was to commit over $100 million to the Ministry of Agriculture in enhancing farming or agriculture in the country. Last December, during the budget, over 40 million or so was equally committed to the Ministry of Agriculture, different from the approvals they get as per their budget line. Okay. That is for 2023 or for the year under review. But for me, from a personal point of view, I think the Ministry of Agriculture still needs to make more efforts in enhancing agriculture in the country. For me, in the Gambia here, we have a problem. And our problem here is we don't want to industrialize. We don't want to mechanize agriculture. We don't want to look at integrated agriculture that would help every other Gambian not just to get affordable food, but equally a healthy food. Looking at, the way we are engaged in agriculture. But the truth here is, I think the executive and the technicians within the Ministry of Agriculture just need to do us a favor. Clearly, for me, agriculture need to redirect their focus and also prioritize agriculture. Imagine we have a whole river Gambia.
Yes.
And it's untapped.
But
for me, instead of importing food in this country, the best thing to do, and anytime you try to engage them, all that you will hear is we are under resource, we are this, we are that. And the stories are becoming too much.
Yeah, okay. Honorable, if the Ministry of Agriculture, as you earlier said, the budget was given to them, a lot of millions has been given to them. But now, at the end of the day, you can see even the farmers, they did their harvesting, the groundnut will not be sold. Now, the Ministry of Agriculture, I guess, should come to the Parliament and tell parliamentarians, the budget you give it to us, this is how we use it, with a concrete evidence, so that the parliaments can know, definitely this money, the budget we have given it to them, the budget we have allocated for them, they have used the money on the right place. So if this is not done, it's going to be very difficult. The farmers will be suffering. Looking at this year raining season, there are a lot of farmers there who did not even have, a fertilizer to apply on their farm. A farmer in provinces who is thinking of three daily meals, how can he or she go and buy a fertilizer for the farm? So I guess the Parliament should make sure that the Ministry of Agriculture, let them come to Parliament and explain to the parliamentarian where the budget, where the money has been put into. I guess this is important.
Yeah, Usman, if you really follow the proceeding at the Parliament, both at plenary and at committee, committee level. Sometime last year,
Yes.
more especially when the issue of Russia-Ukraine arose, there was this increment with the cost of fertilizer.
Fertilizer, yes.
From, let's say, $1,050 to $2,500.
Yes.
At Parliament, what we were able to do, more especially at the level of the committee, that is the Agriculture and Community Development or Rural Development Committee, what we were able to do was to summon the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and its stakeholders to an engagement or to a meeting at the National Assembly in order to understand the reason behind making such a huge increment on the purchase of fertilizer, and also asking them to really make a reduction on the cost. You know, as you have rightly said, if you want a poor farmer to buy fertilizer at a cost of, let's say, $1,500, $2,000 or $2,500, then meaning we are not still working towards the growth of that sector, but instead we are trying to kill the sector by bringing in policies or conditions that would discourage farmers to continue engaging in agriculture. However, there was that reduction on the cost until last year as well. The president equally made a pronouncement to say fertilizer is reduced again, I think at the cost of $1,050. That is this NPK and everything.
Yes.
And at our level or at our individual levels, I think we are also pursuing with the Ministry of Agriculture to look at more sustainable ways or mechanisms that can drive agriculture forward. For example, systems from using chemical and always processed at our backyards or at our respective farms that we can use to apply on our crops and have